Hey, 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 all my December daily friends. I'm here with day 12 and 13. Oh, feels like I'm finally making a little progress in this album and putting in my second page protector, which is not like me at all. I'm going to be using the page protectors from scrapbook.com that have two 3x4 spots along with a 3x8.5 or 8.25 almost is what I made mine. I feel like these page protectors are a little bit bigger than Ali Edwards, so just be on the lookout for that. These are the 2 days where my little guy had just come down with his cold, and I was in denial about my own cold. So at this point, I had not had a fever. I had not had anything. I wasn't feeling well, and I had gotten a cough at this point. But on day 12, I had already committed to going to a event at Greenfield Village with one of my friends. She had an extra ticket, and I knew that these tickets were quite expensive, so I did not want to back out on her. And it was an outdoor event. It only happened to be an outdoor event on one of the coldest days in December, and it was like 4 degrees this night. And I'm always up for a Christmas adventure. So I really did believe that this was more of a light type of adventure and like going to see Christmas lights, and it was everything but that. There was very little lights actually, because it was more about learning how people in like the 1800s went through Christmas. So Greenfield Village is a whole village of buildings that they've either rebuilt or took from other locations and placed in this village. It's with the Henry Ford Museum also. And pretty much like shows you how people lived in the olden days with, evidence from pictures and every other sort of things. So it was definitely a different experience than I thought it was going to be. And I think we would have enjoyed it a lot more if we could have gotten even 20 more degrees. But it was so cold. And obviously this night I wasn't really feeling bad. Like I said, I had just gotten a little bit of a cough, but obviously being in 4-degree weather, though, no matter how much I bundled up, was probably just not good for me, to tell you the honest truth. But, like I said. So here I just showed you how I'm kind of putting that together, keeping it simple because we just did a couple of hard layouts. So giving myself a couple of simple ones. This is a set from Ali Edwards. I don't know exactly which set this is. Probably not available. Unfortunately, I haven't bought any new stamps in like the last year for scrapbooking because I have a plenty that I need to use. And then I go through periods where I get out of practice using my stamps, and I do a lot of digital. So I'm trying to bring that back in. But you're going to see, I did not like the way that this was going. I love that stamp set, but you definitely, the right letters need to be used to use that stamp set. So we transferred over to the medium Jane font from Ellie Studio. And you might be able to find this one. This is one of their staples. I have, I think, every size of this font from mini to medium to large, I believe, along with the dies for the medium and the large, I think. I'm not positive about the large, but definitely the mediums because I use this one the most. So this is a very well used and seasoned stamp. I'm using my Simon Says Positively Saturated inks that I have newly acquired. Loving these inks. If you are looking for a stamp ink line that is got every color in the rainbow pretty much. This is a great one for that. I'll put the link below if you are interested in that. Very, very great inks to do just about anything that you want with them. This one is Cranberry that I'm using, a great Christmas red. Probably my most used, because I got this right before Christmas. I got this ink line right before Christmas, and probably my most used one. And I'm like, oh, I probably should already go buy a reinker. Like, that's how much I use this ink pad. Like, I used it in almost every Christmas envelope that I made this year. So I'm like, this is probably one of the first reinkers that I need to get. All right, so we are going to do a little bit of jumping around here. This was a little bit of cleaning up my album day. As you can see, I went through and I did a bunch of journaling. This is how I kind of like to do this, along with I've seen a few other creators in the industry doing the same thing, because honestly, this Mako transparency paper is not cheap and not easy to get now that it's pretty popular. And so I do want to make the most out of this paper and not waste it. So I generally try and do at least 3, you'll see there are like 3 paragraphs where it's, where I can pretty much cut a straight line and then send it back through the printer again backwards. You'll see I do that here at the end, I believe. So, yeah, so that was the first day. You're going to see that my pictures are not the best pictures. It was dark and there was very little light. And then, of course, it is older thing, so lots of yellows. So I did leave it quite old looking, I guess, like, because I almost turned them black and white, but I decided I wasn't going to do that either. All right, we ran out of tape runner, of course, and then I checked my drawer and I have 1 left of that, so we need to put an order of that in. On the other side of this, I did I think I actually cut off my camera for a little bit and forgot to cut it back on there for you guys, unfortunately. But on the other side, I did layer that with a plaid paper from Tracy Reed Designs, and then on this side, I just used the extra space to create a white border around this picture. It was perfect since I had cut this picture down a little bit smaller than what it needed to be. So yeah, I just used a good white border. And this was our first trip to the urgent care. So this is my little guy just sitting there. And this stamp is from Paper Person. Again, a pretty old stamp. I'm being very brave with that ink pad out with my off-white sweatshirt. And I put that down. And yeah, I just kind of told... I didn't really have too much of a story. As you're going to see, I cut out that one story for day 11 and ended up putting it behind that flip out. And that really just told the whole story about our whole December of sickness, pretty much. So I didn't have a ton of journaling. Oh, here I am. I'm going to put the journaling here. I didn't have a ton of journaling that I wanted to put down here, but... just a little bit. So here I am just going to put this down. Unfortunately, I forgot to spell check this before I printed it also. I think I got it pretty good. I'm pretty sure pneumonia was spelt wrong. Oh, wait, this one might not have had pneumonia on it. The other one definitely did, though, and I'm pretty sure that was spelt wrong. Oh, actually, I can see where there is a pneumonia on here. But anyways, so yeah, I'm sure that word is spelt wrong because I spell that word wrong every time, pretty much. And before this, I left that bottom open because I had already put a chipboard on the outside of my page protector. And then I'm like, ooh, well, of course, don't we need a number? Always a number. So I pulled out some really old stickers from Ellie's Studio, probably 2020, 2021 stickers, most likely. I've used just a few of these. I've also pulled out these label stamps, which are also a very used stamp set in my stash, and going to make some labels so that they match my ink from my title that I really wasn't in love with. It didn't really go the best, but you know, it's done and we don't need perfection. We just need done pretty much at this point. So we're going to do that. I have the dies for this, so I am just going to send it through my die cutting machine to cut these out instead of fussy cutting. They really could just be fussy cut it out, but you know, if I have the die, I'm going to use it pretty much. Okay, yeah, so going back to that. So yeah, I ended up doing that. I think you see me cut it out. I think I put it in. Yeah, I think I put it in. So like I said, I'm kind of just bouncing around this day. Honestly, this was a day where I actually felt like I was like truly scrapbooking because I was kind of bouncing around a lot, where I don't get to do that a ton in my scrapbooking anymore because I am so digital. So I have like clear things that I'm going to do. For some reason, I couldn't figure out what die it was on this one for the life of me. But there we go. Using just a little bit of mint tape to make sure that stays in place. Even though I do have a magnetic mat, I have come to find that my magic mat isn't as strong as the one that I had before. So I will still tape down a few things, but it is... I can't die cut without a magnetic mat. I have come to find that out, at least. Also, I do need to remind myself not to use this photo paper. I always have scraps of this photo paper everywhere. But because it is so porous, because it's got to soak up that ink from the printer, oh my gosh, the adhesive from even the mint tape that is very low tech just sticks to this so much. It's so hard to get up. It leaves adhesive residue, which you can see I'm doing that there. And then of course I smudged the ink because it hadn't completely dried. Oh God, I tell you. So I do need to remind myself, if I'm going to do any die cutting, just do it, stamp it out on Hammermill cardstock that I normally use to make cards. And you can see right there, I'm like, ugh, I got some smudges on my labels, unfortunately. But we're going to push through and we're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to re-stamp them and re-die cut them. We're just going to write right over the top of them and call it good. I did forget in my journaling to put a little bit about what each picture was about. So I am doing that on these labels. And there we go. I'm just going to put them off to the side. And look at me doing like paper, page protector scrapbooking. Like, that is just so uncommon for me to do that. I was just like, look at me go. I've gotten 2 whole page protectors into this album. I do think that page protectors definitely help you conserve space a little bit in your album, or cut down on a little bit of the bulk, because there's obviously only so much that you can fit in there. You can still do chipboard pieces like I have there. You can even put them in the pockets if you want to. It's just like my mood of the day, if I want to stick it on the outside of the pocket or the inside of the pocket. But yes, so I was just like, all right, this is where I'm going to come in and pull out those L's Studio stickers right there. Like I said, real old guys. Sorry, I haven't bought an L's Studio document December stuff for years now, because I think it was 2021, guys, where I bought Ellie Edwards kit, I bought Felicity Jane stuff, and Ellie's Studio stuff, and and Paper Person stuff, because I still have Paper Person stuff that says 2021. So, and what made me do that year? I just went to town. I was supporting all of the small businesses, I swear. All right, so now I'm just looking for a 3x4 card, realizing that my journaling is way thicker than a 3x4 card, and thinking to myself, how did you even measure that? Did you even make a text box for that? But I was like, okay, perfect. I can still send that paper back through. There we go. And voila, the magic of video. We have more journaling. So we're going to cut that out and find an old card again, probably 2018, guys. I am using, I mean, you guys need to be proud of me. I am using all of the old stuff just because I don't have it, you know, if it's already printed in my stash, like, let's just get this stuff used. Now, I did do the physical kit of the mini paisley press kit, but obviously that is a mini kit, and I have used quite a bit of that. I should go through and try and use a bit more, and now that I feel that I'm almost halfway through my project, I definitely need to go through my supplies and be like, okay, what stuff needs to be used that has 2024 on it, and that kind of thing, so that I pull that out and make sure that kind of stuff gets used, because I didn't do that in 2021 or 2 and that is why I have a lot of that stuff left over that obviously either A, I'm going to go back and put it into my scrapbook, like my regular daily scrapbook, not my, you know, and tell a few stories, maybe if there was stories to tell, or maybe I'll run back through my 2021 December daily and just see where, like, I could throw a few things. It's not a ton, it's just a few things. All right, next up is a number for this side, and then we're pretty much going to wrap it up. So I just used a little, I think like 1-inch circle label sticker with the gold bobble numbers that Allie put out maybe this year. I think this year. It looks pretty full still, so it's probably this year. And pretty much call it good, I believe, on this one. Yeah, call it good. I think we're just going to put it all back together. Oh, okay. So I haven't put that piece, as you can see, it's still sitting there. So we will get out day 11, and this is where I did the flip up of on day 11. You're going to see right here, this is that flip up that we did a couple days ago that I needed to do the journaling for the inside. I took that 'Tis the Season card and took off that part of the card, used the background or the frame of the December Stories by the Month card and put together a little spot for journaling and called it good. All right, guys, we're almost halfway there. Actually, I think we are. With 25, yeah, we're about halfway there. So excited. We're getting closer and closer, and I hope that you guys all loved it. Put a 12 in the comments below if you made